Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Smudcast number 629. Trope Talk again. This time we're talking about the concept or trope or idea of the heart. And before the started here, we had no idea what that even was. And some of us had to go to the trope page and figure that out. I didn't.
Because none of us has one.
I don't know what the corresponding pattern is in a social environment. Like, say you're just telling a story about a bunch of people talking. They're like, this guy's the aggressor, this guy's the negotiator, this guy's the heart. Like that doesn't go through my brain when you're writing a scene, when you're discussing a scene, when you're having dialogue. There's no like, oh, we need to humanize this person. It's like, what? Why would we? Like, you would write a good character first off, and you wouldn't have to think about their level of emotionality or relatability. You would just write good characters. So this sort of weird dissection of, I'm assuming there's other roles in what she's talking about, because you can't just say the heart. There has to be like, I don't know, the main lead, the supporting cast, the dramatic like, I don't know. I really don't know what these tropes are. So I'm assuming.
I bet it's just an exaggeration of the power of friendship.
The guy who wants,
or the whiny soft girl that just wants everyone to stop fighting.
Yeah, the nice guy, the nice girl who just wants hugs and everyone to be happy or something. Like, is that happening on, I don't know, shows these days for kids? I have no idea.
I'd say Naruto, that would be Hinata.
Yeah, it could be a young adult show, or maybe a primetime show for teenagers or young adults who they say, oh, there's the character in the back who just wants everyone to get along, and that's it. That's all they do. And that could be a thing. I don't know. So usually when you write a story with characters and dialogue, you have the main characters, the antagonist and protagonist, as the focus. And they are attacking each other socially, or however you want to do it. And some of them could be empathetic. Some of them could be nice and humane. That could be the antagonist. Who cares? Whatever you want to do with your conflict. And to think along the lines of, well, this guy's main role is to be nice and friendly and kind and caring and seek forgiveness and all this other lovey-dovey, mushy stuff. It's like, I guess, but I wouldn't call it the heart. That's weird. That doesn't work. You would not instruct someone how to write that way. You would not suggest that in some sort of teaching lesson. There's no archetype I can think of outside of someone being diplomatic or cordial.
I think it's I'm lacking words. Extension or warping, delusional warping of the mother character that just wants all the kids to play nice with each other, and this forces them to, and in reality that backfires. But in the magical cartoons, it works.
Maybe is it purely a cartoon thing? Like if you're watching, I don't know, Care Bears or something, and everyone's friendly there. They're all nice. They're all levels of friendliness, sort of deal.
What about the villain?
Extension of like, just, or she might extend it to be like, it's just the moral the moral guardian of the group, who's just like the person who's most moral.
It could be.
Ghost Trim says it's the sympathetic character who's the glue to the team.
Oh, really?
So if you go by that, Holly in Monster Rancher would fit that. I'm not sure about April O'Neil with the Turtles, because that's its own thing, but it's certainly going in that direction, just like I forgot the name, the female woman in Gargoyles.
The human woman?
Yeah, the human woman.
She might work like that. I can't remember her name, though.
Using that definition, wouldn't Splinter be the heart?
As well, in a different way. And that's why I don't think this trope really works unless you do some over-the-top caricaturesque shit like Steven Universe.
Well, imagine that.
Because you have several characters employing that differently. Example, Monster Rancher. Holly is the female version of that, but hero guy whose name I forgot, the boy, he has the positive version of that, as is Mochi, the monster pet thing that is just being cute.
Well, think of a military organization or a small team. They're all tough as nails. They're all serious. and the leader says what goes. So it doesn't matter how much you dislike the other guy or how much you're arguing. The leader says, nope, we're doing this now. Be quiet. Here we go. Everyone nods their head, goes okay, because they're serious and they're military. So
they cover that in the very article on the Tropes page for the Heart.
Oh.
They say that the Heart is to avoid the group becoming Knights Templar, which, according to Tropes Talk, yes, Knight Templar is a negative term referring to a character which fulfills the good of the whole through extreme means.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Whisp
So it's a conscience?
Gargoyles. Yeah, it's like the moral code character, which like in Gargoyles, I think like the woman was like the trying to get the gargoyles to be like good and moral. And then you had like the green one, whose name I forget. It's probably more like the Heart character in that show.
Yes.
Was that Bronze?
Like the short green one who was
guy?
like the nice guy.
Yeah, the fat guy.
Then he was like short and green. I forget.
Yeah, I think Wisp was closest with the mother archetype from Young. That would probably be the obvious one, the caregiver sort of person who's the thing that you have to be removed from in a hero's journey. You could say the wise old man. You could say the hero because he's the leader. But I mean, this could be it's anything with someone who cares about someone else or seeks peace as opposed to conflict. That's
like
or cheers you on with the power of friendship.
That could be it.
And that replenishes your hit points.
Oh god.
That's why I brought up the Knights Templar, because when you bring up the Knights Templar and use as the example of keeping them to a moral code so that they don't go beyond their limits, that you open yourself up to so many different characters in the same story that fills the same purpose according to this trope, if that's the case. Such as you mentioned, like Aprons and Splinter, according to this, fills the same fills the same purpose.
Yeah, but this is
of the same purpose.
This is completely irrelevant in certain stories where we have like the dark side of humanity, like morality or Heart of Darkness sort of story, where you can see how greed is sort of the theme of the story. So if you have a character that intervenes, you just crush all that conflict, and the story is just a guy going down on a river on a boat, and you're like, that's you're missing the point of the story. So there has to be a certain function for this character to exist, and I don't understand why resolving conflict would ever be a thing you'd want to teach.
I think this first off, the negative aspect that I wanted to mention was Marge Simpson, the overbearing mother that just forces everyone to play nice when that's not as easily done. When she has the bad episodes where she has to be that guy. Anyway, but for this trope as a whole, I think it's it's one of these feature creep tropes that don't really belong, because we have so many more applicable terms to use.
Yeah,
because we have these different types of characters that go about this in different ways. Whether it's cheering on, whether it's giving supporting with wisdom, so it's a support role, and there are different versions of that. And so, if you just say the Heart, then that would just at best be the category above that, and that is not something that you should make a character of. But Steven Universe would be that, because he's just a dumb appeal to emotion that makes no sense.
All right.
He's just a whiny puppy.
All right. Well, I think we've exhausted our speculation on what the heck this thing is and whether it should even exist. Unless you guys have some more to say.
Yeah, I think because there's so much overlap with what, like, the purpose of the character, like it could be just like the moral center character, the wise character. They might bring up like what makes the Heart roll. The role itself is just like the team has a moment where they might break apart, and it's this character who's like comes out and says, we need to put everything aside and stay together.
Sure.
Yeah, I think moral center is the best.
The only thing I really have to add is that I suspect and hope to God that I'm wrong on is that this is going to be another coping episode. where she just talks about cartoons that live rent-free in her head.
Okay, I hope not either. Okay, this is getting weird. All right, so I think we're good to go. Let's get some through super chats, and then we'll start on the video. Here's the Copper Owl. Thank you, sir, for the 2. God dang it, why do I always miss these? I don't know. I'm glad you did, because these things are horrible. So you wouldn't want to be on the stream. Vladimir, thanks again. Thank you for the 10, of course. I rewatched Peter Jackson's King Kong, and it surprisingly still holds up pretty well, though I did find it odd they put unaltered footage of a small Australian bug pit in the middle of it. Okay, I don't know what to say about that.
I think I know what they're. Maybe I know the.
I know that.
You know what he's talking about? I have no clue.
I need to rewatch that movie.
All right. Well, here we go. Trope talk.
The leader responsibility of leading their merry band. Additionally, the most important member of the traditional.
All right, I think we can get
There's
a good
the
idea
Lancer.
of what. The Lancer, the Heart, the leader, the what is that? What is that gremlin next to the leader?
Smart
Big
guy.
guy, smart guy. I don't think big guy is
The-
the appropriate
the big
trope
guy.
name for that, but I think it's because if they're taking this from TvTropes as a much more fitting name than the big guy.
Of course.
That
it's
is a horrible drawing when you put on these types of eyes with those glasses. That looks atrocious. But I have no idea what. My brain has trouble parsing this.
glasses that don't cover the eyes.
Is this
Excellent.
is this a fantasy thing? Is this a game thing? Like, what is this?
I think
Like,
this is in
yeah.
chat they refer to as a 5-man band. So it's assumed that's what this is about.
Yeah, but where did it originate from? Like, who invented this?
TvTropes, probably.
Just some guys online. Just, hey guys, let's make some random shit together about archetypes that no one's heard of before. Like, what?
Disney, maybe.
That
It,
is
yeah,
it
no, this-
roughly it roughly reflects the setup of gargoyles, for
Again,
example,
that-
as I talked about.
That is how TvTropes was made. Was that legit just started trying to tie everything back to a trope. Now it's done well, it's done poorly.
I don't
because
even.
people got so hung up on Buffy the Vampire.
Yeah, but I don't even think this is I look at manga or anime. I don't even think this is a Japanese thing. I don't even know what this is. Lancer? What the hell is that?
I think that's
Well-
more like RPG. Like the trope came from more like looking at RPG games and how you have like the second in command to the leader is usually, and they just like call that the Lancer character
Really?
archetype.
No,
The
it's referring
runner-up
to-
hero.
It's referring to Lancelot.
Okay.
They lean into RPG stuff with the tropes because it's like every character has their specific purpose and role, and so they're like, here's the smart one that does all the magic, and here's the guy who's just like the helper to the leader.
But
That's usually the Lancer.
that's completely irrelevant to stories that do have a plot that's specific. So let's say Ocean series, they have the guy who could break a lock, the guy who could do acrobatics, the guy who's good at cards, but like all these specific
Yeah, but
roles.
that's all skill specific. That's not
Exactly.
personality. Those are not about personality traits
Yeah, but
mixed with that.
There is no social requirement that I can't even imagine someone to go, we need these 5 personality whatevers, if you want to call those personality traits or skills or social skills or whatever, to say this is the 5, this is how you do a story. I'm like, this is the problem I have, because I'm big on archetypes, I'm big on understanding where they come from and why they're there, but my brain looks at this and I'm like, this could be one character. All this could all be one character who's big, who's smart, who's a leader.
I think this is Western cartoons, because they're uncreative in character creation, follow this setup of blunt husks. If you watch Bravest Warriors, for example, you have more or less a group that is this. You have the big guy, you have the smart girl, you have the leader guy, and I forgot what number 4 is. See? Completely forgettable.
I just find it funny that big guy
The
is
token
based
guy. token characters, just like insert woman character.
Yeah, that's in Brave's voice. That's the smart girl. She's also green. And the big guy is also yellow. Damn.
I
But
just like
leader
the big
guy's
guy. It looks like he's based off a black guy.
in Bravest Warriors, the big guy is black.
Oh Christ!
Lala, you're awesome.
Oh God!
The tropes page, when it comes to 5-man band, also brings up like Power Rangers as an example of how like it's done, and it's like so you have the Red Ranger as the leader, and then the Lancer character is like I guess would be the White Ranger and Green Ranger when they show up eventually. And of course,
but those are that's number 6 already.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think
it's like not every story has the Han Solo character that's always butting heads for the main protagonist.
Han Solo is probably the best example of like what they mean by the Lancer character.
I really don't think you could take any story like a Sentai or whatever and start extrapolating these generalized ideas in an archetype form. I really think every story is unique to its own set of characters and writers and ideas, that they have a certain role. Like Power Rangers is not there to explain group dynamics. It's there to have fun and action and cool adventures. That's you don't need social dynamics. You don't need this really robust.
Well, no. Super Sentai has their own archetype dynamics that repeat throughout the various Sentai.
Yeah.
It's the same for almost every franchise, like Deus Ex, I don't know, Mass Effect, Gundam. All of these have their own repeating archetypes that appear throughout their own setting, and those archetypes appear as many times as they need to accommodate their own universe. You can't just take this 5-man band and throw it at Mass Effect, for example.
Yeah, it's a strange thing to start extrapolating. I wish I knew what this was for, and I think you guys are getting close to where Red is finding it in anime or cartoons
I think
or
it's
something.
just for basic Western cartoon stuff.
Yeah.
On the subject
Generic
of Power
cartoon.
Rangers, the Pink Ranger was like, didn't they have a heart theme to their stuff?
Yeah, the guy, the kid from Peru had the heart ring and was like, it's love. And he's never needed, except for calling Captain Planet, because his power is shit.
I like that the Witch series made fun of that by having the main girl be the one that makes everyone else get superpowers. They have an entire episode dedicated to how fucking useless she is. And by the end of the episode, she just gets lightning powers.
Here's some electricity. Go away.
Exactly. Anyways, let's see what she has to say.
Without their supporting cast, the leader is a leader of so
Wait. The leader is a leader of no one? What?
enter the stage a little ways in the leader's shadow. The Lancer, of course, is a permanent second fiddle, the leader's foil, and frequently their dark reflection.
No, that's the antagonist. Where are you getting this? What the hell?
Because it's Vegeta.
He wasn't the Lancer at the start.
The problem is that if you want to reference the 5-man band as Super Sentai and then reference the Green Ranger doesn't show up till like halfway through the series. Meaning that Vegeta is also good to go if you want to go with him as a Lancer character. That's the fucking problem with trying to forcing the archetypes onto shit where it doesn't fit.
Yeah, or in Final Fantasy VIII, it would be Cypher, who for the most part is the villain or a villain henchman.
Yeah, we use these. I wouldn't say he's the main villain, but he's certainly the foil. That it's like, oh, this is like Squall, but he's not quite the same guy. He's like a slightly adjacent hero because he thinks he's a hero.
No. Squall is the hero, and Cypher's the Lancer in that setup.
I guess I don't even.
Like, the biggest point is the Lancer is the second fiddle to the hero, but they don't have to be a dark reflection.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't need to not like it.
It could be even the best friend who's just there to like, oh, you're so stupid. Stop, Jeff. Stop acting like a moron. You're better than this. Or like the guy who's like just saying it straight. Like that's not dark. That's not twisted. That's just the guy who's known you all this time. He could be your mom. He could be anyone. Doesn't matter. This is so strange. Anyway.
moon to their leader's sun. The harmony argue the Lancer is the best character, as they get to be a little spicier than their more protagonisty leader, who must lay down the paradigm that the Lancer rebels against.
I would disagree again. Look at Persona series. There's always the best friend who never gets any of the girls. He's always second fiddle, and he's always got your back. Like he's not spicy. In fact, when he gets spicy, all the girls hate him. So I don't know. Like what? This is so up in the air. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Lancers are well liked and may even garner.
No, they're not.
We get the big guy and smart guy, frequently paired together as a foiling duo. One big and strong, one small and smart. The dynamic practically writes itself.
What are you
These two
talking about? What is this?
Master Blaster.
Master, is that a video game?
As well, I was referring to Thunderdome.
Oh, geez. Okay. That's a reference.
Come on, it's technically correct.
Yeah, no, there is a Master Blaster in Thunderdome, you're right.
And it's just the smart guy who controls the big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect analogy.
More often sidelined than the rest, filling a more utility-based problems while the smart guy solves all the character drama for themselves. But it's called a 5-man band for a reason, and we've only tackled 4 so far. With our bases covered so thoroughly, who could possibly be left? Well, last but not least, the 5th character.
The girl.
The female.
Yep. Red, even you portrayed it as the girl. That's sexist.
Is the small one not a girl?
Is this like this? Like the skill person is always the female because females are not as strong as males, so they have to be really good at a skill that proves they have to work hard. So like they're like a weapons master or some nonsense video game term that relates to whatever this group of people are doing functionally. Like this is getting either, is it social? Is it functional? Is it dramatic? Like what is this? What is the function?
It's why are they all called April? April in Saber Rider.
April.
Yeah. She also pilots one of the ships, but she's the girl, so she's the heart, although she doesn't talk much. Blah.
I'm trying to think of
bullshit. It's just bullshit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like comic books that there's so many characters, and it's like, okay, you'll need the guy who keeps everyone together, and you're like, all right, maybe Jubilee, she's so happy-go-lucky. Then you have
X-Men.
Yeah, like Wolverine's like, "Rrr," and then Jubilee is like, ah.
What about like the Bat Family? They
Robin's, yeah.
The Bat Family is usually like around 5, right? So I guess Robin's the Lancer, and I guess Alfred would be the Heart, or maybe sometimes it's Batgirl.
Huh.
If it's like the Heart is supposed to be the moral, like emotional center of the group or whatever.
Yeah, but Alfred does that as well.
All right, I'll just be the cunt to walk in here with, what about Digimon then?
There is no such thing.
They don't have a heart. The main cast in Digimon Adventures, as far as I remember.
You just don't believe in the heart of the
Digivice?
Digits.
The car. It's the heart of the car.
Yeah, I don't know what examples she'll bring up, but the 5-man band, you could, like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, I think it's 5 there, too. Like,
Hell, like in the Digimon, the first season of Digimon, the smart guy bounces off with the prima donna. How does that fit into this 5-man band bullshit?
Oh, wait. How does this work with Pokemon?
Just don't try.
Pikachu's the tart.
No. So you have Brock and Misty. Being Brock is of course the muscle.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't do anything else.
And he's black.
Yeah, and he has rock
veterinarian
Pokemon.
of the group.
But I have no idea what Misty's supposed to be. Like she's Sakura from Naruto. Worthless, annoying girl. And
Well, she's always butting heads with Ash in the first season, so I assume she's supposed to be the Lancer character.
uh-huh. Oh, wait. But we need a 5-man band. So Jesse and James are part of the protagonist team.
They're so inconsequential. They're part of the protagonists. We're your villains. No. We're actually helping you. We suck so bad.
We're refilling the obligatory 5-man band. What the hell is that? Go away.
Yeah, but look. The 3 protagonists, they don't have brains. So Jesse and so James is the brains and Jesse is the heart.
What about Meow?
What about Meowth?
He's just evil. I don't know.
The psychic SP.
Like the Team Rocket sometimes get like episodes themselves, and in those episodes, if I remember correctly,
That's the best.
like Jesse and James start arguing, and Meowth is the one that gets them to like make up and stuff
And has
like
the
that.
plan and tries to get the other Pokemon to help him because he and James
Oh,
are so busy fighting with each other.
Yeah, and I think in those like Team Rocket episodes, it's when like their Pokemon come out because they only had like one Pokemon. So Ekans and Coughing, and then you have a 5-man band there and their own like little.
Oh yeah, you do. Like Ekans is the sneaky one, and Coffin is just a retard.
Okay.
The big guy, the dumb big guy.
This is getting nowhere.
Yeah. Look. Okay.
I like
we-
the Bat family as like.
So one, Pokemon should have gone with a Jesse and James show. 2, this 5-man band thing is only interesting when it's not done as the 5-man band.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Like when
Think
you
about-
do do something else, when you do twists on it or subvert it or whatever.
There's so many stories with like fantasy. We're going with the fantasy tropes of like 3 characters, 4 characters, 2 characters, 5. I'm trying to think of like maybe something a bit more modern. No,
Like Hobbits count?
yeah, that's 4. I think 4-man band. Merry and Pippin, Sam and Frodo.
Tyler Preston says it's Team Rocket is a trio. The trio is made out of brawn, brain, and heart. But who's brawn?
Yeah, don't worry.
Probably Jesse. Yeah,
Yeah.
James.
Oh
is usually
yes,
like,
yes.
James is usually portrayed as like he's got a hidden soft smart side.
But both of them can pull a punch. That's why I'm wondering who's the brawn then.
It just doesn't. Well, the Japanese are just writing more interesting characters. Can we agree on that?
Well, I was thinking of like something modern like Firefly because I remember Josh Whedon, he wanted to create a story like with like 8 or 9 characters. Like actually he wanted like 11. But obviously he didn't have time and money to do that, so they cut down the roles to like 5 or 6. So I'm like trying to see if that would work, but they're all rogues in their own way. And some of the characters are nice, and some of them are like there's the big dumb guy with the big gun. Then there's the super genius. There's the doctor guy. Like they have their roles, but their personalities are whatever the hell the story is about. So it's nothing to do with an archetype of them being the smart one or the kind one. It's just they're their own person. So
If you want modern examples, what about the Avengers? Maybe is that like 5 from the movie?
even then, that's very specific. They're their own characters. They have their own baggage. They have their own backstories that's so specific to, like Natasha being this super agent that you don't even know about. She's all mysterious.
Yeah, and several of them have the leader quality.
Right. They're all their own person. I don't know. Like it doesn't quite. This does not fit any trope or pattern I've ever read.
I'd say at best, generic fantasy video game.
Well, God, even with the Avengers, you can't have a five-man band because Hawkeye is there. What about Hawkeye?
Hawkeye is just
He just
the
shoots.
guy.
Look, he just shoots arrows.
He's the comic. He's just like the guy who's like the stand-in for the audience. I guess.
Is that
He-
what
he's-
they're
Thing is
doing?
like, yeah.
He's there in the middle of a war zone with super AI robots on a floating rock, shooting arrows from above.
And Natasha has a gun. Literally just a gun.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the Lancer is super, like, interchangeable. Like you can have characters moving in and out of it.
Yeah.
We should probably continue before our brains melt.
Yeah, this is so theoretical. It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional. But not least, or are we just being polite? Today, let's unpack the fifth and final member of the five-man band and what they actually bring to the traditional party comp. On paper, the
The
heart
girl.
character can seem pretty superfluous. The leader is generally a heavy hitter or master planner or other.
Is this the piano version of Seal? Like, what is this? Is Kiss from a Rose? Like, what is this? Like,
It's at least not the standard background music she has. It's just too loud.
Not the standard classical music.
what is this? The
Thank
leader
you,
is plot
Smudge.
advancement. What is the what? Who is?
Smart
No,
guy is quick.
no. This is whoever wrote that. What bullshit is this?
I'm so glad that you reminded me with the name of that song. I heard that, I was like, wait, is that? I didn't recognize this song. Yeah, it is A Kiss from a Rose. What the hell does that have to do with the heart?
Couldn't you just have plot armor and not have plot advancement? 'Cause isn't that the same kind of thing?
You could have the leaders die. And then what would happen? The Lancer would take place of the leader. Blah 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 blah. It's like, dude, this is so stupid. How can you say plot advancement is just based off one character? So the leader is everything? The leader is the only one that deals with conflict that is related to the plot? Why are these other guys around?
I will tell you, everyone who follows this as like a guiding advice to construct your story that you're writing, your story will be shit and it will be bland as hell.
Let's just go through this. Plot advancement. Okay, that is so generic it means nothing. Leadership. The leader does leadership. Thanks. That's great. Heroics. Anyone could be a hero. Why else would they be here on the team? They're just going to sit back and let the hero, the leader, be the hero? Okay.
And it's like bringing back up, like, okay, so I guess Hawkeye isn't the leader. Does that mean that Hawkeye can't be heroic?
Right. Like, look at the rest. Raw power. What about the big guy? The big guy doesn't do raw power? I guess not. Okay. Measuring up to the big bad. Why can't anyone measure up to the big bad? How about the big guy? He's a big guy. He can measure up, can he? And then plot armor means nothing. That just means he doesn't die. But he can die. As we've seen, lots of heroes die. So, what is this? Is it functional? Is it social? Is it psychological? Is it theoretical? Like, I don't know what this nonsense is.
Solves figure it out problems.
Yeah. And Ghost Shrimp, I saw your comment in the chat. The problem is that people who watch Red do take this as not just as a guideline, but as like this. This is how you write good. This is what you need to do. And I know someone in the very town I live in, not just one person, but one is very extreme fan of Red, and just follows this shit to the letter, and yeah, it's not good.
Again,
Right.
the whole existence of, like, the whole trope, TV tropes, came out of people wanting to know how to write like Whedon. Because they got obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and why they liked it. That was the origin point for TV tropes. And it
It was doomed to fail.
basically.
Sorry that I interrupted you, but just
That's
because
fine.
Buffy is it really. Are you seriously? Buffy is the reason for this TV tropes thing.
That was the one that was at the perfect time where people were like, okay, now the internet is a big thing. We need to learn how to write. And so Buffy the Vampire Slayer was the big thing that kicked off TV shows, because these are the people that want to learn how to write like Whedon. That's why everything you see these days try to mimic Whedon. He is the backbone of modern writing.
No. That explains so much.
All right. Well, I got 3 super chats I got to catch up on. So here we go. The Copperell, thank you, sir. Always Sunny had brain, brawn, face, and wild card.
Oh, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Right.
That's 5?
That's 4. Brain, brawn, face, and wild card. I don't know what face is. What does that
The
even mean?
diplomat.
I believe the face would be Dennis. I think that's the one.
All right, whatever that means. Legacy, Hawkeye was the leader of the West Coast Avengers. Okay, cool. And Copperell again, the heart is also the useless chick fan service?
Yeah, you
So,
could say
so
that.
Scarlet, so Natasha then.
Think of oh god, I forgot the name. Record of Lodoss War, the Isekai girl,
Record of Lotus War?
the female main character, basically. No, not Lodoss War. God bloody hell.
Escaflowne.
Yes, Escaflowne. Thank you.
Okay.
Everything's becoming one thing in my head. Yeah, but it's what I wanted to finish before. Buffy is bad. It's badly written. Get over it.
All right.
Seriously, it's not good. A year ago I watched all of it and Angel, and there's 3 good episodes, and that's it. It's like sad. It's so much wasted potential. It's contradictory in itself. The world makes no sense. The world isn't developing properly. It's just silly. It's okay to like if as B-movie schlock, but not as good film. Not as good TV.
All right.
It's just
Let's keep going. None of this makes sense to me. I'm sure she's going to ramble on about whatever. So, okay.
The plot moving. The Lancer provides some exciting character drama and interpersonal challenge while also generally
Why?
being a near even match to the leader in badassery. The big guy and smart guy, as mentioned, serve very functional problem-solving roles. So what's left for the heart to do? Well, maybe we can give them healing powers or super empathy or something, but like really practically speaking, what is the point of them? Well, there's one crucial concept that's like critical to the 5-man band that we've been overlooking because we've been taking it for granted. Why is this 5-man band together? It's an odd question. The 5-man band is a band because that's what makes the plot happen, right? That's what's most interesting.
No, it's pretty simple. Mutual goals.
Which has nothing to do with the group or 5 people or 6 people or whatever. There's just
Yeah.
the story happens.
Or we all have the same super villain antagonist. Let's do it. Or someone in the group, preferably the leader, saved someone, and that's how the party was built. And so on and so on. You don't need this hard character for that. Like, this is like okay, you don't need a hard character in a war story. Like, technically that can be who keeps the platoon together, but if you're in trench warfare, all you need is the buddy next to you. That's it. There's no 5-man band.
How many was in Private Ryan? Was that 6?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember. But you had someone keeping the group together. Yes, that is necessary. It's basically the whoever upholds the morale. Technically, that's supposed to be the leading officer, who you could say is also the leader, because it's the leading officer. And that means that already in that situation, this 5-man band concept falls apart because one person is doing 2 jobs. Did I kill it?
No.
Yeah.
All
Like,
right.
brought up when it's not a 5-man band, you usually have the like one character doing multiple things.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. But I'm thinking of like RPGs, and they're so diverse. There's so many characters in RPGs. You can't really apply this template to anything. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm playing Wrath of the Righteous right now. I've been playing it for years. There's like 12 characters. There are companion characters, and there's like villains, and there's like sub bosses, and they all have their own roles to play, and they all persist throughout the story. And they're all not friendly. They're all mostly friends, and then you have like the one evil guy, and the one semi-evil guy, and then the very evil, and the other, like, they just like, there's all these conflicts, and they have nothing to do with archetypes or tropes. They're just, well, this is the person you go with if you play evil, and they allow you to experience that story. So with new media, it's interactive with all kinds of like tens and tens of hours of experience. They make stories to facilitate the function of a video game in that context, the same way writers write characters in a season of anime to facilitate whatever they're trying to do in their story for young adults or romance or whatever the case may be. So this concept doesn't make sense unless you put it into the goal of, let's say, hero's journey or a heist scenario or murder, like something specific, so that we can go, oh, this is where you're going with this, like a fantasy setting or a future setting, or we got to save the world scenario. Like, give me this goal that we could wrap these characters around, because right now we're like, this does not apply to anything.
Yeah, and I'm trying to desperately find examples of this, and if I go back in time, one of my favorite games that I mentioned before is Lufia, and your main party is always 4 people at max, and there are 7 or 9 characters in the game that you go through that join and leave your party. And with some of them, some of these things fit better. Like, you have a scientist character, but he's just there temporarily until you get your airship. And the first girl could be the heart, but she's also a bit toxic, leaves the party. That gets replaced by your wife, who is a general and magician, so she's also badass. You have your direct brawn character, Deka, but because that's all he does. But there's also Guy, who is also that, but the womanizer, the charming guy who's more natural, and it's like it doesn't work. It doesn't work because there are more and more characters that don't fit these at all. Some of these things are used, and while you have 7 or 9 characters, not all of these 5-man band things are even tapped into.
Well,
on the other end, yeah,
you have examples like more modern, like with Star Trek. You have, or the Next Generation. You have that. Deanna Troi, who's this empath, so she's literally can see and feel the emotions of all these aliens and what have you. But in a story about using technology and everyone gets along and you're in the future, she's pretty much useless functionally. There's a few episodes where it's about her, but other than that, you get her out of the story. If she quit the role, if Maria Cernas just stopped working, the story would be fine. You wouldn't need her.
Yeah, because Picard has enough experience and empathy himself, right, to make all the correct guesses himself.
Yeah, this is what I'm getting at, because this is like, if we break apart an actual person, like a modern person with social skills and empathy and rationalization and all these intelligences, and we say, okay, this guy's going to be the big dumb one, this guy's going to be the smart egotistical one, and we keep going. Then you're like, oh, it's like a personality. It's like, yes, we get how stories work, but this is not what it is when you break down the mind and the persona into all these parts. This is why we have archetypes, to say, oh, this is the style of behavior for a person who could have lived this life. So we have the godmother, we have the old wizard, we have the temptress, we have all these roles. And then we say, that can be seen throughout thousands and thousands of years of storytelling, because that's a very classic example. With this, it's just like the guy who's nice to everyone. It's not really an archetype. It's just like, I'm a nice guy. I don't want to hurt anyone. I was like, what are you doing here? This is a story. Stories are about conflict. You're gonna get trampled on, or you're gonna be this weird dude in a story that you don't belong. like Deanna Troi is like, why are you here, Deanna? Everyone has no psychological issues. Well, they shouldn't have, but they did.
Yeah, and even with Xenoblade 1 and 2, you have with 1 I'd have to think because I haven't played it in a very, very long time. But with 2, you actually have you have 5 playable characters for your party that are the direct playable characters. The rest is support. But and even with them, it doesn't work fully. Like you have to start interpreting who is what, and I'm trying to figure out that it just doesn't fit. Rex is the leader. Okay, that would be easy. That would be simple. Zeke would be the brawn type. Tora is the Nopon is the smart guy somehow, because he's Nopon, of course. Nia would then be the heart, but then what we have left is Morak. And is she the Lancer? That makes no sense. She's not a runner-up. But she's also rather a brawn type. It makes no sense.
Yeah. All right. We only have 2 minutes in, so hopefully there'll be some.
Before we continue, Whisp, you should count your blessing that was downstairs when you confused regular Lotus Sword to Escaflowne. Count your fucking blessings.
Why is that?
Because she.
I have 5.5. So I know, Lala. I know it's insane, but they came out in the same era. They have a roughly similar background style. I'm very hung up on background images, and I have sleep deprivation for 5.5 years now. My brain is falling apart. I think there are words I can't remember anymore. It's weird.
All right,
it's not fun.
I'm
sorry.
Okay.
It's not good. I was just pulling a leg. All right.
All right.
Hey! Contrary to you, I read the prequel story manga thing of Lodoss War.
Problems together, and reason they all hang out, live and work and fight bad. Hang out, live and work and fight bad guys together. Why is the 5-man band a band? That is where we find the heart. This character provides compassion, friendship.
They don't. Wait.
Number 1, please, Red. You have an example of 5 people in this troop. Please tell me who is who.
What? Wait, how do people in a group not provide friendship? And what does it mean to have peacekeeping in a group? Does that mean they don't have conflicts? Even the caring, kind person will have conflicts. If they don't have conflicts, they don't deserve to be in a story. Everything in a story has to have some conflict. If you have nothing happening in a story, there's no conflict. Why are you writing that down?
Why would she bring up Teen Titans? Teen Titans, the black brawn guy is also the intelligent guy.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional intelligence, is that like psychology? Is that someone who understands you?
No. Oh God! Don't smart. You haven't heard of emotional intelligence?
Well, this is what she's just saying.
That sociological esoteric bullshit term for women who are not above average intelligence, so they need some other thing they can feel good about.
Really?
Does that say?
It's literally that. If you read deeper into what is emotional intelligence, it's just empathy, which women also don't have in general. Like if they're narcissists, they don't have empathy, so they also don't have emotional intelligence. They're just good at manipulating people. That's not the same thing. Anyway, we can talk about that later. It's just emotional intelligence is just a scam for dumb people to feel good about themselves.
Also for, I guess, Starfire kind of fits the role of the heart, because there's that one episode where she disappears and they fall apart. But it's implied there happens so much stuff without her that if they were missing even one member of the team, that stuff would happen regardless.
When people talk about Teen Titans, they usually say it's Beast Boy who's the heart, because I think there was a specific episode where he brought the team back together.
He actually cares.
Yeah, like Starfire in the episode that I'm talking about, Everyone else are just playing with each other, bothering each other, basically being kids. And she has this big emotional hissy fit over something she cares about. And then
I think Starfire is the big guy because she's the super strong one. In that case, like
maybe
It doesn't even work with her example. Oh god.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that in the scene that or in the episode I'm talking about, she is emotionally like childish.
That's because she's Pinkie Pie.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
I just don't get this. Is that say comfy trust with the smart? Like what's
Oh, I thought it was comedy.
comfy trust? So the heart also has other requirements with the relationship with the other members. Like
I don't know.
All right, never mind.
Grounded in caring about people. Character everyone in the group
Called it.
everyone in the group individually cares about, but sometimes their compassionate connection runs at a more profound level than that. Sometimes they care so deeply that it in turn inspires their friends and teammates to care in a similar way. It is often explicitly shown in story that without the heart, the group either falls apart or never.
I fucking called she was gonna bring up that episode. She is the emotionally weak one in the start of that episode. Fucking hell.
This is so generic that it does we can't apply this to anything. Because the heart is there, therefore everyone else is there. It's like, no, there's a plot.
oh,
They're there for the
But
plot.
In that very episode, it's explained that, yeah, the team fell apart because of all the shit that happened. And it's implied that, yeah, they can't work together if everyone isn't there. Regardless of whether Starfire is the one that gets them together or not, it's pointless as I don't know which one of you brought it up. It was Beast Boy that brought them together at one point. It's like, it doesn't matter who it is. That's
yeah.
missing.
Wasn't like the chronologically first episode? It was Beast Boy who made them, who like suggested they be a team.
I don't remember, but my point is that I knew she was going to bring this up the moment that she showed that clip from the episode at the opening, where she has this big monologue about how we need to care about each other. But the context for that scene is that she's having this big thing about her cultural heritage and how it's Friendship Day. And they accidentally break a necklace she's made, and that's why she has to speak. That doesn't ring out to me as having a heart. That rings out to me as somebody having a temper tantrum.
Yep, she's emotionally immature. That's what makes her all bubbly and everything. That's the contrast she has to other characters. Where Raven, I think, is the polar opposite to that.
Yeah.
It's introvert versus extrovert in those two.
Okay.
Starfire bubbles all the emotions out, while Raven is all controlled about them.
The motivation to act in the plot, but the heart motivates them to do
God,
it
not that
together.
show.
The heart may or may not have something to offer outside of predominantly emotional character-driven situations, but in those situations, they are the master of their domain.
What does that mean? They're the master of their domain of what? Being emotional?
Why would you show the fastest man on the planet, faster than the Superman, as an image of somebody that can only work as emotional support?
Because he's open with his emotions and jolly and tries to make people laugh. Haha. And look, this is we translate this to fucking My Little Pony. You have what would you say? Who's the heart? Is it Pinkie Pie?
Oh.
Or is it
Fluttershy.
Fluttershy?
Oh dear.
Again, that's the problem. I can't go, okay, you're the heart. No, because they don't work together when there's somebody missing.
Both deeply care about others, actively care about others, while other characters just have this passively happening or doing this in very different ways. But these two especially are very active about caring about other people and bringing them back together and solving emotional conflicts. So who is that? Who is the character? Who is the heart character?
Isn't this just extroversion? Isn't that all it is? You're very friendly and open and nice and kind and outgoing and
That would be Pinkie Pie then, yeah.
Isn't that all this is? She's describing one aspect of a human personality, and you're like, okay, that's fine.
Yes, and describing that as the only characteristic of these people where I don't even know if that's relevant to the Flash.
Yeah, but just imagine that you're describing, she's obviously describing an archetype, but imagine you're describing a character and you're talking about an actual character. Well, the Flash is the heart of the JLA, and you're like,
Huh?
what is...
The issue is that Red seems to... she shows us examples and then seems to assume we know exactly what she's talking about and which character is what, because she has decided that in her head. And that is, of course, the correct interpretation. And why would anyone else have a different one? That's the positive interpretation.
Yeah, this is...
The negative interpretation would be she has tried to map this out herself and noticed that this doesn't make sense with all the examples she gives.
Yeah, this is feeling...
So she doesn't mention any.
This is feeling like, you know how Jordan Peterson would talk about individuals having individual desires and tastes and whatever, and then the other guys on the other side of the argument, well, everyone has these sort of generic feelings and thoughts, and this person's outgoing, and this person's this and that. It's like, yeah, but that's fine if you're talking theory. We're concerned about the individuals and what they want and what they want to do. So every time she applies this, she's always speaking in the generic, and then she has a random image, like we said before on the silly little video here. And it's like we have to assume this is what she's talking about. It doesn't connect. It's so up in the air, and you're like, I guess this could be a personality trait or a behavior. It's certainly not a plot function. There's no story where let's just let's get together and talk about our feelings, the people who disagree with each other in this story or this group, and the heart will fix all that. It's like, no, they won't. There's no plot like that. There are stories where it's just a day in the life or slice of life where we're just going to do a random side plot where it has nothing to do with anything. You're like, okay, yeah, we could do that where people just cook and eat food and talk about the day. Could happen. But you have to be very specific with those episodes in, let's say, a serialized story like JLA, or I'm thinking of Ghost in the Shell, where they have those side plots with random characters that they're talking about. What was it? A net forum about who is this villain and blah blah blah. You're like, oh, that's interesting. It's nice to have those interludes that are off the beaten path, and you're like, okay, who are these guys? What's the people's view of what's happening in the city? That's interesting, but it's plot functional. It has a goal. It has a thing to bring out the narrative more, bring out the world more, world build, and tell the audience what's going on. It's not necessarily to have some weird conflict with the characters who are not connecting correctly or whatever the social problem is. This is... If she had a story about drama, like a daytime soap opera, okay, because the whole issue with soap operas is social dynamics and melodrama, and oh, this person slept with him, and oh, I hate him now, I'm going to divorce that person, I'm going to sleep with him to get him back, and like, oh no, like that's silly crap, but that's what people like. So this, I don't know, cartoons maybe, but I just don't see it. All right, I think I'm done.
The heart is often that they're hanging out with, show their love for their teammates in clear, tangible ways. Gifts, compliments, open concern for their well-being, and they are, in many ways, the glue that holds the group together because they genuinely and openly want the group to be together. The other members of the group may be a bit
horribly
too cool
animated.
for school
What was
to be willing
that?
to admit they like having friends they can
Oh, that
rely
was
on.
Dragon
The heart
Prince.
has no such weakness and will often be first in line to set up the secret base and
what
start
is
handing out
this
communicators
show?
and friendship bracelets. The heart is often the character that the
Oh,
other
She-Ra.
characters get along with most easily and unconditionally, and it's comparatively easy for even more guarded or jaded characters to admit that they like them, because of course they like them. They're friendly, kind, compassionate, and otherwise precision designed to be easy to love. The heart is therefore also the character that it's easiest to motivate the other characters with by putting them in danger. Thus, we establish the heart to damsel pipeline. Once it's established that everyone likes the heart, endangering the heart is a very easy way to get the group together and working towards a common goal.
To
And as a bonus,
damsel?
if the heart really isn't that much
What the?
No,
Because usually it's a girl.
So because
Oh,
heart character is female, she becomes the damsel.
Well, she pointed out the qualifier was like So they establish the heart as the character every other team member fully likes, and then something bad happens, and it makes them all get together and change. It's like she brought up Justice. People usually point to Flash as the heart in the Justice League because of the whole Justice Lords thing.
Okay.
Where he died.
Flashpoint, yeah.
Yeah. But it's it doesn't have to be the...
No, we're talking about alternate realities in that case. And in this one, we're talking about Bleach because Orihime is super powerful character and blah, blah, blah. And what's-his-face likes her. And Bleach is not a very interesting story to me, but...
Yeah. Well, but she brought up, she used footage of Justice League, and a lot of people say Flash is the heart in that instance because when in the alternate, when he dies, the whole team changes. And they the episode makes it a plot point, even that Flash has to be alive so they don't become bad.
The whole plot changes too if Superman dies. That was the whole point of death for Superman, is that the entire world goes to shit.
All right.
Good in a fight, this handily justifies their endangerment and keeps them out of the fray during the rescue plotline. On that note, there is a big pink elephant in the room we should probably touch on before continuing, and that is the fact that the heart is kind of my term for this character. Before, this character archetype was referred to as
it's
the
your
chick. This is because, for a lot of reasons, a lot of older ensemble
Did you
cast
write the
stories
TvTropes
skewed rather
page?
heavily in the dude direction.
I assume that about some of the things she covers in his videos.
So the actual TvTropes page is the heart.
Yes, there's a separate page called the heart.
Oh.
Hold up, let me look
And-
this
And
shit
she just said that's her term for it.
She just came
I
up
don't
with
know
it. She just invented it in her mind one night. She was sleeping and went, "Oh, I could call the chick the heart. Why not?
I'm telling you, she repeatedly does this.
I'm a
That
genius."
she's explaining tropes she invents.
Young was just a guy I thought of one night. Oh, there was a guy called Carl Jung. Oh my God, he exists.
It's like the fridging. That wasn't her, that was someone else, but it's basically the same thing.
Oh.
A thing happens once, is observed, and therefore it is now a trope, although it only happened once.
All that pops up is Steven Universe when I look this trope up on TvTropes.
No.
I would love for her to do her own version of A Hero with 1,000 Faces, where she just goes, and then I had an idea, and this is the same idea some philosopher had 2,000 years ago in India about paradigm. And you're like, what? What are you talking about?
You think she has delusions of grandeur where she thinks she's Joseph Campbell, but the girl?
I think she's just deluded. No, I think this is silly. This is ridiculous. Oh, I called it the heart. I'm like, yeah, okay. Sure you did.
The TvTropes page even quotes the Justice League cartoon of giving an example of what qualifies a heart character.
And it references that the heart is to avoid the group from becoming Knights Templar, basically becoming extremists, which the Knights Templar weren't. They were justified. Go fuck yourself, revisionists.
Is that a Warhammer reference?
No.
No, the actual Knights Templar.
Yes, the Knights Templar. That is the term they use for the extremists. That the heart is making the characters avoid becoming.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's keep going. This is getting pretentious as hell. But
Oh, it's becoming.
It always is. That's why we're here.
Doubt main character of a single girl. Sometimes it was a token effort to appeal to a wider audience. More frequently, it was to give at least one of the actually important characters a good, clean, heterosexual love interest. But whatever the internal logic, the end result was you'd often end up with stories where all but one of the protagonists would be guys with diverse and intriguing personalities, backstories, and motivations, and then there'd be one lady protagonist who had to do all the heavy lifting of representing all women.
okay, wait. How about Sailor Moon? How about Serena?
Oh,
Is she the
boy.
heart or is she the leader? Which one is she?
She's using the Fantastic Four as an example.
This is
Reed pilled.
I don't know.
Personality. This didn't always produce
Why are we?
general
Bro,
difficulty.
how dare you, Red? Genuinely, how fucking dare you? What the fuck is your problem? Oh, Invisible Woman doesn't have a personality. You don't read the comics. You don't read the fucking comics.
Oh.
You're highlighting images from the Heart Trope page. You're highlighting works of people that created the brand of Marvel and DC that are dead. As problematic as people that, oh, the women didn't have personalities. Shut the fuck up. Genuinely, shut the fuck up. Also, the Fantastic Four is a 5-man band. Shut the fuck up.
Yes. Did she say earlier when she said that the heart is her thing? Did she say a little bit after that that it
Yes.
has to be that she mentioned it has to be a chick?
No, she's
Or-
not trying to explain that. It classically seems to have been the chick. And now it's been expanded somehow that it's sometimes also something else.
Well, probably because of the
she's-
damsel, I guess.
Well, yeah, she just used Justice League as an example, and everyone says the Flash is the heart in that case.
Okay.
He's a dude.
Also, how is Wonder Woman relevant in the comics? Because there's so many fucking women in the DC universe. Even back then, there were so many of them. She was part of the trio alongside Batman and Superman. Why would you ever reference her? There are so many goddamn characters in that universe.
Yeah, this is confusing. I was just stunned. Like, what is she talking about? How does this have anything to do with what the issue is? And I don't see Wonder Woman filling any role there. At least in this panel. Like, what is going on? Anyway.
General difficulty the writer writing female characters in their own right without defining them by the dude protagonist they were most relevant to, making it almost impossible for these writers to genuinely consider putting a female character in any role with agency or self-determination or the kind of relatable drive.
What? Shut the fuck up.
So, Hawk Girl has no agency?
Oh my god, you're so fucking sexist. Jesus.
Doesn't she do her own thing and date whoever she wants? And
All the characters have their own motivations and goals and fears. Oh, Christ. Why would you ever go for one of the most... God, I'm sorry. Christ.
We need you, Lalle.
Yeah, I just need a moment.
well,
Ignore me. I'm having a conniption.
we're going into the DC characters, and there's literally hundreds, and I don't know what she's doing with these clips from the show. Not to
Yeah.
say that they're clear or complex. They're just like, okay, I remember the plot lines with Hawk Girl and her weird past, and then her future where she knows she's going to have a kid with Green Lantern. So she's like, hey, we're going to get married eventually. It's like, well, you don't know that. Da, da, da. It's like, that's fine. That's nothing to do with being the chick or being the heart or being
Yeah.
whatever.
In case of Justice League, the roles like changed per episode, where you have like one member serve a particular role, and then like there was no set role for each character
Yeah.
at times.
Every plot line was different. We had Batman not be the focus, and then he ends up like, taking off his mask and telling, hey guys, we got to get together. I'm Bruce Wayne, blah, blah, blah. Like there's all these things that happen in the jail line. This is why I don't like the comic, because it's too busy. There's too much happening. It's kind of hard to follow. And there's so many characters. So it makes things hard to appreciate, and things happen too quickly.
From, I think regular Justice League, not Unlimited.
I don't remember. This is like during the 90s, so I can't remember exactly when.
But like in Justice League Unlimited's case, you had like many different episodes where you'd have just different groups get together, and you like the members of the actual Justice League would change like what their role was. Like sometimes you'd have like the Flash be the smart guy in an episode, and then other times it'd be like the Lancer support, depending on like the characters in the episode.
Yeah, she stuck to like more generic terms, like the foil of a story. It's like, oh, you could totally have a foil who plays different roles, because it's a functional term which has nothing to do with their skill sets or their personality. It's just the guy or girl who's against the main character to showcase the differences and how they solve problems or get conquered or not get conquered. Like there's all these wonderful dynamics. That would make sense. But to say there's the opposite of the foil, the glue, the person that keeps everyone together, and you're like, wasn't that the leader anyway? Like, no, it's the person who's nice. It's like the nice non-leader character who also is a girl. And you're like, what? Okay.
Let's entertain this idea, this sexist ass idea that the women in Justice League are just there because the guys don't know how to write women.
Yeah, we need the hot chick to keep all the guys in tow. Yeah.
Is that why Supergirl is in the episode with the question? Where he goes into his whole conspiracy theory stuff, where he's threading the needle between boy bands and food production. And the Green Arrow just calls him another that's obsessed with conspiracy theories, and he goes, conspiracy. And Supergirl is the point of view character. Is she just there because the writer didn't know how to write a woman? But they needed an episode with her in it. Is that where we're going? That men don't know how to write women, but women are these perfect angels and know how to write men exactly as we are.
What happens when Western women write women? That's when She-Hulk happens.
Oh God, let's not go there.
It's such a minefield to walk into, and she jumped head first. That's why I'm stopping myself, because I'm trying to avoid walking into the same field where I make an open statement about something that has so many buts that you'll never untangle this Christmas tree light bundle that you got yourself stuck in.
Perhaps if she mentioned the exact titles from like the 40s or 50s where Wonder Woman or whoever acted a little bit too like women would act at the time, so we could say, oh yeah, that's probably not how we write women anymore. It's like, yeah, you're right. That's fair.
Give me a number. Give me a number. Give me an issue number. Give me a writer name.
That would be the best bit. She just said in general, you're like, whoa, maybe not. That's probably not.
No, the comics after Wonder Woman's original creator sadly passed away, a woman took up the revival of the comic. Then introduced her rival Cheetah. I believe that's her name.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like comics back in the 90s, like Lady Death and Witchblade and all these other female lead comics where the focus was women doing amazing things, being superheroes, and saving the day. So I'm like, all right, that's not damsels. Those are not very nice girls. They're very powerful women, and they had superpowers. And they could kill you. So those were written by men. So
it was Cheetah. Cheetah was a great businesswoman that imported illegal Chinese goods back in the revival, and that was written by a woman.
Yeah, this is odd thing to say, but anyway, let's just keep going.
Are the kind rising women is a mysterious for these poor guys, and as a result, a lot of classic five-man bands would have dudes in the leader, lancer, big guy, and smart guy roles, and then with all the actually important bases covered, they could afford to slot in one lady.
Oh my Christ, good Lord. Please expand your horizons. Why would you show Voltron?
Yeah, it was like a show from this late 70s, early 80s. I bet
you she's only showing Voltron because it had the Ultimate Defenders, and that one's trash, so she doesn't want to talk about that one.
I really don't think Voltron is the de facto five-man band. If it is such a thing. Nor would I use it as a standard for anything. I just like this. Let Voltron be Voltron.
The series that started out with the entire Earth has been wiped out and all the humans have been enslaved. Yeah, that's the archetypical five-man band adventure, am I right?
And there's these 5 soldiers that command the greatest power in the galaxy or the universe, whatever it's called. It's like, okay. I think the dynamics are a bit different once you have these weapons of mass destruction, but okay.
Why would you think that's not the standard?
5 guys and 1 girl in combat? Yeah, that's true. Why would we have women in combat in the first place? I don't know. But
Rusty brings up a great point. Why is she relying on TvTropes all the time? Because she is TvTropes.
Because she
Rusty.
wrote
Yes.
half of it.
apparently.
It's funny.
Yes.
It's funny you say that. Just wait till stream names.
Because
Right.
she has TV's trope stock.
All right, let's go.
Anything up and could fill the role of at least one person in the group likes her, typically because she's their love interest. Now, to be both clear and fair, the chick was not always a poorly written character. Hell, technically speaking,
You started out saying that men only included them because they don't know how to write women. Oh God, why would you then backtrack now to say, oh, they are not always badly
Yeah.
written?
Within my limited understanding of literature and movies and comic books, they weren't always that bad. It's like, yeah, you know the sum total of everything in the past 30, 40 years.
If we now and Leia isn't who keeps the group together. It doesn't feel like that, honestly.
Yeah.
She's just there.
Yeah.
It's more like Obi-Wan is doing that.
I was about to say, it's fucking Obi-Wan. He was the one that shelled out the cash.
Uh-huh.
She could have made her point about the heart character better if instead of focusing on 5-man bands, she focused on like groups of 3.
Or just a heart.
Well, look at social dynamics of any group, of any popular thing we could point to and say, okay, this is 4 people, 5 people, whatever. The leader is usually the guy who's got that skill that everyone wants to follow. But sometimes they're the anti-hero. Sometimes they don't want to. They're just the guy who has the key to the car and everyone's with them. So who keeps everyone together? And there's some other sub-sporting character, and that's the role of the sporting role, is to help everyone to get through the problem. So if that was the focus, you could say, supporting role characters. They're not always individuals. They could be leaders. They could be female love interests. They could be whatever. And you explore that, and you say, oh, okay, so it's not so much the literal personification of the role, it's the function they have in the group dynamic. That would have made a lot more sense. Because I cannot reduce Leia, if this is what she thinks, to the heart function. It doesn't make sense at all.
I rather think that what's happening now is that she's starting to tell us all these characters that are already subverting the trope, that she doesn't even have she has not even proven to exist the way that she lays it out. And then we'll get to the point where we criticize from the start that this system doesn't work as it's portrayed.
All right, well, let's go for another 2 minutes just to say we're halfway done, because this is...
Also, before we continue, Tile brings up an excellent point. In Mazinga C, like one of the grandfathers of Mecha, Sayaka, the female character, the female pilot, is reduced as being better than the main character.
As a pilot.
Yeah. Like, she's the one that's always coming up with strategy, that knows how to fight the enemy. Whilst Koji just fist fights people till they start moving.
Okay.
They're bringing up
Says
Star
Leia
Wars.
qualified.
Isn't the OG trilogy, like, doesn't that have a 5-man band technically?
Kinda. Would you consider R2D2 or C3PO the same?
Yeah, it's like I think some people consider Chewbacca like an actual part.
Oh, really?
No, Chewbacca would be just the big guy,
Yeah, I guess.
the big strength guy.
Okay, yeah. Sure, why not?
Yeah, he can tinker with stuff, but basically he's the big scary guy with brute strength.
That would still be a 6-man band, though. R2,
Yes.
C3PO, Chewie, Leia, Han, and Luke.
Well,
The thing is, she relies on
we can
TV
say,
tropes.
look. For the sake of the argument, we can combine C3PO and R2D2 into one comic relief character.
No, we
So,
can't.
Yeah, because
Yeah, completely.
C-3PO just does the talking for R2 all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah, and R2D2 is the one that actually does the technical stuff, while C3PO is the reason why they get Bond in the first place.
so Obi-Wan would be the 7th? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's so ridiculous.
It's like because she's constantly trying to use 5-man bands to be like, okay, this person does this person does that, so this person has to be what I think the heart is. When there's like a lot of overlap with what she says are the qualifiers.
Yeah, no, it's a silly thing. And if only she explained, okay, so there's group dynamics in terms of social, psychological nature, and then there's group dynamics in terms of function. So what's the plot function, right? Social would be, is how do we get through these problems in a believable way that is humane and natural and has aspects of humanity that the audience can understand and relate to. And that's where it gets very messy. And you cannot personify, at least the way she's doing it, or at least I don't even know where the 5-man band came from. However, that is taking it apart. Like, the big guy can't be smart. It's like, okay, but then we have the big guy in Fezzik in the Princess Bride. And then you have the smart guy, the smart evil dude, who's the brains behind everything. So he's the little smart dude.
I think what she misses out, what she overlooks, is, for one, Star Wars is not the 5-man band; it's the hero's journey, and she is leaving out this important character. What would you call it? What was it? The wizard, the wise man.
Yeah, the wise old man.
Yeah, the wise old man, the teacher. Yeah, that is Obi-Wan here. In Turtles, that would be Splinter. And that is what keeps the group together.
Which has nothing to do with the heart. It's just the guy with the wisdom that goes, oh, that's smart. Yeah, we should do that. We should follow him. Not, oh, we're having another fight with Han, and Chewie's going to tear my arms off. And
yeah, but in these stories, it is the wise man who keeps the group together, not the heart, whatever that is. Because Leia, seriously, she is just a chick. She's not the heart, the way that Red tries to make it out to be.
Okay, we got 2 more minutes just to say we went halfway through, and that's it. It's much we can take. There's no need to go any further. This is already wrong. And my brain is just like trying to connect these dots. I just can't see it.
Absolute ass kicker and a very non-standard of the 3 main characters. But the chick was frequently the weakest written protagonist, and her role in the group dynamic as the heart often came from a kind of generic sugar and spice and everything nice situation with a little bit of team mom thrown in for flavor, essentially making her the gentle and feminine caretaker to the irresponsible and manly protagonist squad, because everybody knows the best and most appealing love interest a guy could ask for is your mom.
What?
I don't even
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She's trying to make a Freudian joke.
She's not a man, but she's not like other girls either. What?
Because the heart is the big qualifier is to keep the team together. Therefore, they're the team mom, and therefore Freud.
I don't.
I find it very fascinating to watch her dig herself a grave so deep you can't see the sunlight anymore.
She's not a man, but she's not like other girls. I just don't. What is?
Is she trying to say tomboy? Is that where we're going?
Is she trying to say tsundere?
Let's
the hot-headed chick.
Because that could also work.
What is that first word? TLH? TLN?
Yeah. Feelings.
I see feelings.
No, it's TCH.
Oh.
It's just an exclamation.
A dismissal.
Yeah.
Ensemble cast. It's actually not uncommon for the chick to very point of the group and to instead be an ass kicker whose defining character trait is that she can totally keep up with the boys, and she carved out her emotional stability to make room for more kung fu. This was a clumsy but well-meaning effort to subvert the obvious problems people had started to notice with the chick archetype, namely that she was typically aggressively useless and often only existed to get smooched by the hero and kidnapped in either order. Of course, being an ass kicker didn't prevent these characters from still falling victim to that classic damsel rescue loop, because that was more the result of writers who didn't feel comfortable giving them agency over their own plot. But the effort.
Oh my god, please, could you be genuinely not sexist for like 5 minutes? Please. Just 5 minutes without dragging in, oh, they feel uncomfortable rating women.
It's all those males, all those writer males. What are you gonna do?
She's a feminist with narcissistic personality disorder. She is incapable of not being sexist.
The filthy Sherlock Holmes author that wrote a woman that was better than Sherlock Holmes. Ugh. He just doesn't understand women. Wait.
Also, I do not see in any way where, what was it? Not Jupiter Ascending. Valerian. Where Valerian had a 5-man band. Did anyone watch that movie?
No.
Oh God!
There was 5 people in Valerian?
No.
Yeah, there was 2. I thought.
Yes.
Someone in chat's bringing up, she's referring to, because of TvTropes, she's actually talking about the action girl trope with this chick 2.0.
Okay, that's a thing, I think.
She relies on, I just don't get, like, the weak, she's trying to bring up, it was weakly written, or has been badly written, and she's just saying, because the heart character has normally been a chick, therefore it used to be poorly written.
The scene just shown has nothing to do with anything she's just talking about.
Yeah, I don't know why you ever want to bring up, is this Batman Forever? Or Batman and Robin? I don't remember.
It's Valerian.
This is, I'm sorry, I thought it was, because she showed.
It's right now it's Valerian.
Okay, before it was.
She showed Batman and Robin earlier with Batgirl.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, because she's the action girl to
yeah.
counter the argument that the writer's sexist, so they introduce a clumsy action girl.
Okay.
Which still ending up in the pipeline to become a damsel in distress because they don't know how to write. They don't feel comfortable writing women. Fuck off.
You can never please people like Red.
All right, one more minute, then we'll get to stream memes because this is going nowhere.
Was
Like
there.
always.
However, part of the reason this backfired was because it deprived the party of a character in the role of the heart. While generally flat and underdeveloped, the chick did in many cases unintentionally fill the role of the heart, the only character able to express honest compassion and emotional vulnerability. Because writers who struggle with understanding the female of the species...
Oh please, this is so dumb.
Don't get too near them, darling. Stop sounding like a wife and fight me that gun, lady. Why? Christ.
Men are having problems understanding women, therefore they can't write them, therefore they become chicks, therefore they become the heart, really.
So now, who's the heart of the Sly
That
Cooper game?
That is a badly chosen panel.
I just don't get, why is she bringing up, her point is the heart character used to be badly written and then they tried to write them better and that deprived stories of a heart character because they made the girls more actiony because the heart was always the girl.
It sounded like she was trying to say that they accidentally wrote a heart because they felt uncomfortable writing women memes while showing art of artists and writers who are dead.
I think the problem is she's too feminist to know that what she's talking about is bunk. So she's just going, oh, men. You're like, what?
Has she been watching LiteratureDevil? That she's bringing up the Richard Reed?
I don't think I would give her that.
No,
credit.
I doubt it. I highly doubt that.
Just as a counter, an attempt to counter.
Men are so And you're like, okay, all right, fair enough.
This is with all the shit she's talking today. It's look at her avatar. She looks like an evil, sadistic demon. This is not coming across like someone nice I want to listen to.
I can't imagine her giving a speech or a lecture on anything and trying to like come from that. Wow, what a great thing I learned about a pattern in characters that are nice, who might be women, who are written poorly because men don't understand women. You're like, whoa, what was that? What a strange takeaway.
Yeah, just look at the female characters in Babylon 5.
Well, there's so many good authors that are men that make fantastic women. Like, what is this? You look at comic books in general, it's like they're all melodramatic. Oh, they're all one-dimensional. Well, so are the males. Wow, how did that happen? Like, what?
I would love for her to take this attitude and just open up the IMDb page of all these positive images like Avatar. Just really take a glance at the writing staff on those shows. If you want to take this gender lens on them and say, oh, men don't know how to write women, and when they do try to write women, they end up in the pipeline of becoming damsels in distress.
All right.
Show, mainly male-written show.
I think Red's problem is that I do not see myself reflected in these female characters, therefore there are not well-written women, because well-written women would be like me. So if you would write something, it would just be, all female characters would just be self-inserts or of herself.
Yeah, like Vanity, what's her name?
I'm not Starfire.
The chick here. Like, I can't remember her name, but in this panel, she's clearly worried about husband getting into danger without her. The Invisible One, thank you. And she is painted as like a bland, worthless character. Thanks, Red.
Isn't this just obviously a joke panel? It's not like...
Well, I wouldn't even call it a joke panel. It's like a comedy panel. Like, the situation is serious, also... but she's worried about him getting into danger.
Yeah, but that means that she is her emotional care about her husband keeps her from acting properly in the situation, which is giving him the support he needs, which is the tranquilizer gun, instead of motherly advice.
All right, 30 seconds.
That's the entire problem.
Call it a day. There we go.
Often alt of who is and is not allowed to express foundational human emotions. So when the chick was given the 90s antihero treatment and written with an aggressive rejection of the traits that painted her predecessor in fetching shades of feminine weakness, the end result was a big group of macho ass-kickers with absolutely no emotional core.
What are you
Many
referring
with
to?
This brand of token lady ass-kicker found themselves struggling to invest audiences in a group.
This is the 90s? No, it's not. How about the 80s? We had Alien and Aliens. Who was the female lead there? This is silly.
Her argument is just they lost the emotional core because now the woman character acted like a badass.
Give us an example of a 90s group dynamic that lost the emotional core.
Because her argument is the emotional core character has to be, or had in the past, was always a chick, which you could probably point to several instances where a male character fit the bill.
Now, how does it work in Ghost in the Shell?
Well, just look at Ripley. I mean, I was going to bring up the rest of the Alien series, but it's like, she had a motherly concern. She was badass. She acted like one of the guys. They were all part of the team. There were strong females and strong men on that team as well. So it's like, what exactly is she referring to? What writers is exactly she's talking about that did it bad? I'm sure there were, but you can't just generically say, oh, the 90s. Babylon 5 with Susan Ivanova. Such a guy as a female. You're like, what? What are you talking about?
You should be talking about just the comics in the 90s had nothing but, like...
Compared to, like, the 70s, I would say the 90s are pretty far ahead.
I refuse to believe she's read the comics, or any comics for that matter, when she talks like this.
Yeah, this is done. I think we're done with her today. I think that's enough. It's just too silly.
You want to watch the insane last 2 minutes?
If you want.
Come on.
Do you want to
go for the last 2 minutes?
All right.
Let's see what could possibly go wrong.
This can't get worse. What do you mean?
All right, let me fast forward. All right, here we go.
Oh no, she talks about having no.
Seemed utterly lacking in capable of honestly admitting that they liked each other, group integrity got subtly called into question. But as writers got overall with that in mind.
There we go.
Like this?
I got it.
No, it's there.
That's too far.
Oh.
There you go.
There we go.
Ah!
What are you doing?
trouble, the role of peak goodness, you can let other members of the group express less heroic attitudes without this actually preventing them from being good guys. If one character will always charge into the fray to protect innocents from villainy, the other characters can bring up reasonable points about needing to keep a low profile or not necessarily being able to tank the consequences of recklessly charging into a situation that much bigger than them. And even if the other characters agree that they should intervene, the heart's morally spotless motivation can highlight the other character's motivations by contrast. Maybe one of them is just as down.
You could also do it just like it was done in Babylon 5 by everyone forbidding the commander to do his personal suicide mission. Telling him, no, you're not going into the battle because you're the commander. You need it on the station. And he's like, moping. Because he wanted to do the heroic thing.
All right.
Thing, but only revenge on the bad guy they'll be incidentally stopping in the process. Giving the team
Where's the 5-man band in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
She is bringing up so esoteric, specific points now and keeping it general. It's so weird.
Where's the 5-man band in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
There's
Who's the heart?
15 different active characters in that show. Where is the 5-man band?
Yeah, where's the 5-man band? And who is the heart that keeps the Elric brothers together? They don't need that because they're brothers who care deeply about one another.
I'm trying to remember.
What the fuck is this garbage? Red, are you dumb or are you insane or both?
I remember someone it was a documentary, not a documentary, it was like a movie documentary on the Three Stooges, right? It's Curly, Larry, and Moe. And everyone said Larry is the brains and Curly is the heart? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like,
If it talk about like this, 3 of them.
yeah, it
Who's
was.
the answer?
I think Moe is just Moe. I don't know.
People were bringing up in chat like earlier how she was talking about Wonder Woman and talking about like Trinities would have helped make her point better because people bring up like the Trinity of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and say Wonder Woman is the heart there.
I would say Batman's probably the heart at certain times because he's the human. He's the guy who's like, no, we can't do this. We got to do this by the book. We got to bring them to justice. Whereas Superman's like, I got to stop the evil. And Wonder Woman's like, well, I got to kill everyone. Like, there's justice, there's violence, and there's Batman. It could be, but they play around with that dynamic a lot.
Yeah, especially the cartoon where they have so many different heroes come in and out.
Yeah, and sometimes Batman's the hardcore dude, and sometimes he's not. Sometimes Superman's the hardcore dude, and sometimes he's not. They've changed Wonder Woman quite a lot over the past 2 decades. So yeah, no, it's great. You get a lot of cool stories from different writers.
I just realized in Star Wars, the heart is R2 because he brings everyone together.
Really? The beeps and bops. He's so cute.
Yeah, the tin can who brings everyone together.
Yeah.
Unironically, yes.
Like she brings up TvTropes all the time, and she points to like the tropes page points to like the 6 Ranger trope to justify having a 5-man band, and when there's like 6 people. Because the 6th person has its own trope page where it's just like, yeah, they're the guy, they're just the add-on who's like the audience surrogate.
Yeah, but that's also not right. In all the examples she brought, that's not how it works. And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the antithesis to her whole shit here. Like, what is she talking about? Oh, it's maybe God, I forgot.
Winry? Maybe Winry could be the female.
No. Yeah, she's the chick, but she's unnecessary to keeping the group together. Because the group is the Elric brothers. They stick together. Like, maybe you can try to build a 5-man band in the military around what was his name? He's on the screen, the Flame Alchemist here. Oh god, I forgot everyone's names.
Flammenwerferman,
yes, Flammenwerferman. He Hawkeye of this, like his more or less girlfriend, if you want. Then you had Hughes, who was the one who kept them together, the group. Armstrong being the big guy, and then you had the radio guy. I'm sure you can try to patch together a 5-man band around his circle, but that's not relevant, I think, because they're all side characters.
Okay.
And I'm really trying here. I'm really trying.
Well, you'd still have to break apart the roles into who does what, and it's all up in the air because there's no functional role. It's all social, and you're like, this doesn't mean that the bad guy or the evil guy or the guy with has no lines is going to be the leader or whatever. It's like, yeah, it could be any of them.
Yes, chat. Axton, Roy Mustang, thank you.
Rusty as is God at heart of this podcast.
What?
Yes.
I wish people are bringing up better examples of the heart as a role in chat by just bringing up like Trinity groups like Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Are we a 5-man band by this definition?
No. Please, no. Don't even go there. Okay, anyway, we got 1 more minute just to...
Giving the team a token. Very interesting. It can be easy to fixate on the tangible plot-moving characteristics each member brings to the table. The leader is typically hooked into the main storyline. The Lancer challenges the leader and can make the point A to point B trajectory of the plot work.
She said they all have plot function? Then why is the leader the only one who's advancing the plot? What are you talking about then?
Who is the Lancer in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Well, I assume that would be, what's his face? The guy...
Wouldn't it be Roy?
The guy that tries to
his
kill
own
alchemists.
Oh,
What's
the Scar. Scar would be...
Scar, thank you.
Yeah.
I assume he would be a Lancer if you want to force that round object through the square hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he opposes the main character and then joins the band to stop the greater evil, to start the war, that caused genocide.
But he's also the big guy because he's mainly just running headstrong through his target's problems.
But he's also at the heart because he has the whole connection to the people that still survived from the genocide. It's such a great system that you can apply 4 different characteristics to the same person.
Okay.
The big guy and the smart guy. Service. The heart is the character whose role it is to remind the audience that these are characters with thought.
Oh, shut up. This is so dumb.
Whoa. We were talking...
Red, never. Do us a favor. Never write anything. Please.
We need
never,
one character
ever write anything.
to remind the audience that other characters have humanity in them.
They are not just tools to get the plot across. They're actually people. Thank you, Red.
I'm
sure this applies for many, many stories.
Yeah, you do not want to have one character to represent the idea that the other characters are not just fictional people or whatever and have actual personalities. No kidding. Why don't you write actually good characters so you don't have to do a stupid thing like this? This is dumb.
I'm getting the idea that Red is showing us, if not the reason, why modern writing in the West is so shit.
I always talk about how much of a brick Commander Shepard is. I wish he wasn't. I wish she wasn't. I wish Commander Shepard was a real character that had personality and things outside of not being able to dance well and just be stoic brick dude.
Just like people like them and think they're a good leader.
Yeah, there's nothing to them, though. There's nothing about them that could say, oh, yeah, they're like this, they're like that. They're just stoic and straightforward. That's all they are. There's no flavor to them. That's the comical thing we talk about with Mass Effect 2. All of a sudden he's funny. All of a sudden he's a goofball. So Renegade is funny evil.
That's because they got like feedback of like we don't like how boring he is, and they kind of made the default dialogue more funny.
Yeah, they made all the quick actions to be funny and the Paragon just to be more Paragon. You're like, okay, great. And then they had even more fun where they transformed Dragon Age into Mass Effect by making Dragon Age 2 have the purple option for no reason. You're like, where did this come from? Why don't we do that? Like, I don't know. So now Hawk is funny and evil.
Also,
It's because they have them talk.
Anyway, I'm going to stop the
Lalo?
video here because there's no point.
Before we end the focus on the video, I do like that her definition of the heart is the character that explains that other people are people and do people things. Does that remind you of anything, Mike? Does it remind you of a character that explains other characters being characters?
Oh no.
Like one of her
Is this
qualifiers
some
for the
intro?
heart was literally just
Oh.
they show niceness to everyone else in the group.
The only people that need this explanation, that the other people are not just tools and furniture, you only need to explain that to narcissists and psychopaths. But the thing is, they don't understand that anyway.
So here's we're on some memes now, and
Memes.
is this Mike? Oh, this is Copperell. The wild card, the useless chick, the muscle, the looks, and the brains. I don't know. That doesn't seem to make too much sense to me. Here's the A team: the wild card, the looks, the muscle, and the brain. Okay, I guess that's.
I think you need to scroll further up.
Oh, I missed some.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, that's just. Oh, that's fat memes that I just missed.
Yeah.
Guess they were added later.
When you make a joke character for a serious campaign. Doof. Okay.
Doofenshmirtz, the heart of Phineas and Ferb.
All right. When the kid appeal heart characters start taking things seriously, guess I'll die.
Rusty asks a very good question. Since Frogos have two hearts, does that mean that they are the double heart character of the narrative?
Oh dear. I've invested in this comic run, especially for Wonder Man. He's underrated. Okay. Wonder Man. I'm trying to remember who Wonder Man is. Okay, cool. There's. Okay, Jesus. Thank you, Homer. And then we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Power Rangers. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Power Rangers. Okay. Now we have Kirby, who is every character, and he's throwing.
No, he throws friendship hearts that turns enemies into friends.
Really?
Yes, and then they become party members who can be controlled by your friends.
I defy you, Heartman. Oh, there we go. Tapestry. What a great episode. There's Beast Boy. Isn't Beast Boy just always horny? Is that his thing?
Well, a lot of people think with that show that because most obvious example would be Starfire when I'm talking about the heart character, but a lot of people kind of think that consensus-wise Beast Boy is intentionally supposed to serve as that character.
Starfire is just erratic and neurotic.
All right. I'm not going to read all this, but I'll read it later. But are you still master of your domain? What is this?
TvTropes 5-man band picture from the wiki.
Really? Sonic? What?
Okay, so Knuckles is the muscle, Tails is the smarty pants.
Amy would probably be the heart, and
yeah, with a giant hammer. And the other thing is then the runner-up leader.
No, that's just the paranoid schizo.
Yeah, but I would think
Yeah,
so. That's a useless character. So wouldn't Knuckles be the runner-up leader?
I always assumed that it was going to be Tails if you want to.
Yeah, because he has brains.
Yeah,
because Tails can actually make plans.
he's the one that the plot relies on at the end of the Sonic.
Yeah. So what's that thing beneath that?
Outlaw Stars on the bottom.
Oh no! Wait! No, that in the middle. Is that Torchwood?
Yes, it's
No.
Torchwood 3, I think.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's more of a farce, isn't it?
but that doesn't work.
It's a spin-off of Doctor Who, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't know who is who in this.
Oh, who knows? The whole joke is the guy is just flirting with everything.
I know. But 5-man band for Outlaw Star.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That doesn't work. Okay, you have leader, you have smart guy, the little one, the girl that barely does anything, keeps everyone together, I guess.
She's the android. Yeah, I can't remember.
What do the cat girl and the
Well, the
rope
cat girl's like
woman
super
do?
strong.
Yeah.
Like she's a super strong character as a
Okay.
fucking retard.
Okay, so the other one's the Lancer then. Or what?
Not really. No, she's just the chick with the sword, right?
Yeah, she's all honor bound and shit. And it's like, oh, I couldn't kill you within 60 seconds. Oh, I'm a loser.
Secondary edgy hero. I don't know.
Doesn't quite work.
This-
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
Maybe she wrote this page too.
Oh no, we got the My Little Pony with a cannon.
Oh, it's Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, of course it's a cannon. It's a confetti cannon.
Oh, okay.
I assume that you've never had birthdays, Smut.
Not with cannons.
What, don't they fire cannons at your birthdays? Wow, Canada sure is boring.
Oh no!
What is this? I made this. You made this. I made this.
Oh, it's a bunch of fucking it's like plagiarizing.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we
made-
were talking about how she said that she invented the
I can't get over that. Why would she say that?
We can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. Oh. Yes, down a size and a half. What is
Wait,
that?
what's
Oh,
the-
the Grinch. Okay.
What's the one way you can actually pinpoint the second the heart's ripped in half? What's that reference to?
Good question. I don't know.
What, the one in The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yeah, which
That's the episode. That's the episode where
Not
Ralph
the
falls in
episode.
love.
What is that referencing in terms of what's happened? According to the stream. That's what I'm
It's
curious.
just a joke about hard things.
So this is
Ah.
again My Little Pony. Heartbreaking. Very very sad. Okay.
Oh, look, that thing I mentioned.
This isn't great.
You have a good heart. Rayla compliments Ezran's good-hearted nature when he suggests that the creepy sounds nearby might mean someone is in need of help.
That's what the little highlight there.
Trope talk?
Her own videos on the page for the stupid fucking trope.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh god, she references herself.
I wouldn't be surprised
Yep.
if she wrote that page.
That's
So there's two video examples or what?
that's
Oh yeah, video examples.
is she just doing
Yeah.
this to link from TvTropes to her YouTube channel? Is that how she gets all her views?
I have investigated myself and found that I am the only
She is
source for trope
responsible for
talk.
20% increase in the traffic to TvTropes.
Oh. All right. Oh no. Kalima! Kalima! Help me, I'm feeling. Oh, it's the Grinch. What is happening here?
That's Midna from Twilight Princess picking up a heart piece from a. Oh no, it's in Hyrule Warriors. She's picking up a heart piece from a treasure chest.
Oh, I get
Oh,
it.
I
It's
see
a
it.
heart.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a hand. Yeah, I see it. Okay. It's like, what is that?
That's her hair.
Okay. Thank you, Cartman. Robotnik's Heartaches. I will not play that. For 5 minutes, could you not be sexist for 5?
For 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, it's Pikachu. Oh my God, the penguin. They're just rubbing each other's cheeks. What the hell was that? Yeah, she was weird. What? Who won't? What? I can't read that.
Who wants to live in a world without men? They can't possibly be that essential to your life. Don't knock it till you've tried it, princess.
All right. That's weird.
She's implying that Wonder Woman never got laid.
Oh, jeez, really?
Oh, Christ. Even in the very first thing, if you go back and read the re-release they did for the revival of Wonder Woman, the first thing we see of her is her getting laid with a guy on the Amazon island. That's the very first part of the comic that we see. Is her getting laid. That's fucking bullshit. Also, Mike, I just saw the meme. I love it.
I want to read this one now.
You want to read it? Go ahead.
Yep. Sly, just look at the real heart of your gang. Bentley.
True.
Oh, that's such a great scene.
Or is it Murray? I gotta play those.
Where's that from?
It's like Cooper.
It's
Okay.
the third game in this series.
What is
Well,
what is this? Whose character is that?
It's Kenny.
No. The one after it.
That's a character I sent. That's from Ruby.
Oh,
That's
Character-
the character that reminded me for that joke there.
It's a character that literally explains that other characters have developed throughout the series. When she started talking about, the heart is reminding the audience that these are people.
yeah.
Thanks, Ren. Sad to see you still haven't developed.
So Jean-Luc Richard this is Jean-Luc Richard when he listens to Red speak. Tear her mouth off. Gingaman Prime Heart. Yeah, I knew someone was eventually going to bring this up. Gotta love that guy's. I was thinking of this dude in relation to Persona 5 and what they do. If all you had was this guy running around just changing people's feelings, make their job really easy.
Doesn't that just mean he has the power of emotional manipulation?
I don't remember
That's the
exactly
power-
what he did. Yeah, something like
The
that.
power of gaslighting.
I feel bad. I'm going to change the way I think. Listen to your heart. If it stops beating, you're dead. Yeah, that's a good point.
Imagine a round table and you all get superpowers. Your power is the heart. What the fuck are we supposed to do with this?
I believe in the power of the cards, or what is it called? I believe in the.
I believe in the heart of the cards will guide me.
Okay.
I'm surprised she didn't bring that up as an example.
Oh God, no, that's too corny. Plus, his hair isn't. I don't know what it is. It's.
No, but like,
How come that all the examples she brought didn't even have the correct number of characters?
I got so hung up on that. I cannot believe she actually had the guts to bring up comics when talking about women when there are so many goddamn characters that fills the exact same role as the heart.
That was a weird blow to talk about men. Men just couldn't write women. You're like, wait a second, slow down, honey. Where are you getting this?
These are the people that made characters that we reference all the time for archetypes, including Wonder Woman.
You could argue that the comics from 40s and 50s and even the 60s were melodramatic,
Simple.
one-dimensional. Whether they were men or women made no difference. They're supposed to be functional for the story. So you could say, oh, they're not done very well. It's like, yeah, but that's comic books. The Silver Age or whatever. It's not supposed to be some grand American novel. That's just how they wrote, and that's how they sold, and people liked them. They like superhero escapism. It wasn't a big deal. It's not supposed to be some big drama that makes, all these other famous writers to shame because, oh my God, I'm writing a Wonder Woman comic. It's got to be amazing. It's like, no, it's for kids. It's fun.
Also, Rusty asks if she watches anime. She referenced Bleach. That's
Yeah,
about
that was-
and Voltron.
What about Violence Jack? Who's the heart of Violence Jack? Answer me, goddamn.
I think she used Orihime in regards to her being she's always being a damsel. And
yeah, that was weird.
And she's a very powerful character. I'm like, all right. I mean, she does get captured here and there, but it's not like a good example of the heart. Everyone in that story
I don't know.
is Shinigami, so I don't know what that means exactly.
Because you tried to bring up that the heart character is the one that when they get hurt makes every other member of the band like unite and change to then like said that damsels count for that.
Oh, Rusty just brought up who's the heart of the group in Konosuba. There's a new manga spin-off called In 100 Days Kasuma and Megumin are going to get married. And the whole thing is them leading up to that, and it's just all them flirting. So I'm assuming in regards to that comic it would be Megumin, because Aqua's insane and Darkness is insane, so Megumin's the only normal girl there, outside of her fascination with exploding.
Relatively speaking, normal.
Yes. So.
I'm so glad that Gar is completely ignorant of the history on this podcast.
Yeah, I know, guys.
Like that.
Don't reference or don't go back to our previous episodes with Red in them. It's just not. It's not good for you.
How does this rate up then? Actually,
This is actually not that bad. There's been a way worse. This is just her being weird, which is pretty normal.
This time we at least understand what she's saying.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. But the thing when the worst was probably when she said, "This was an idea I had back in the day," and you're like, "Wait a second, you did not.
This is an idea I made."
Yeah,
I made this.
That was the silliest thing we've heard so far, and that was not that bad compared to what she said before. So.
Have you actually finished one of her videos?
Oh yeah. Originally we did, but then we just said, okay, this is going to go nowhere. We cut to the chase.
She says the same stuff, sadly.
It's always in this big, grand strokes of ideas that don't relate to what she's talking about. Outside of, she's showing, as I said before, she's showing a clip, but she's speaking in broad strokes. So you're like, is that exactly what you're talking about, or is that an example when you're talking about this other generic concept? And that's the problem with her delivery, is she speaks in so broad concepts as if this is a universal idea, when I have never heard of the 5-man band. I have never heard of the heart, the Lancer. Like, what is that? No one's ever talked about that. That's not how you write characters, guys. You write characters that provide conflict. That's it. Even the supporting cast provides conflict. If you don't give me conflict, you're wasting my time. You're wasting everyone's time.
Supports conflict.
Well, you don't force it, but you you give me something.
You want side characters that can support a conflict to make it more interesting.
Yeah, it's the constant friend foe friend dynamic of villains are going to be bad, but they're also going to help you, and friends are going to be good, but they're also going to be against you. There's always that element of nothing is exactly connecting the perfect way it should. Because that's reality for you.
But we are the good guys. Why should we be fighting?
Why?
Because you're black.
I'm not Bearsis.
All right, guys. Anyway, I think that was enough for Red. I think I had a good. It was actually, this was pretty okay. It didn't drive me crazy. I didn't go crazy. I think I swore once.
Yeah.
It's a good average for a Red video.
I think Lay sweared more than that.
Oh yeah, well, that's fine. That's fair. Not everyone has the same reaction to Red. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. I would have liked this to have been our animated video, but there wasn't that much anime in it. So maybe I'm going to one tomorrow. We'll find out. So keep the suggestions going. Keep the voting coming too. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have yourself a great evening. And have a great end of the day, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.